Okay, Andy. Good morning, everyone. Online students can hear my voice. Okay. So the last class I given one assignment, Andy. Here. Anybody tried this? Raise your hands. Anybody? Okay. Today, let me explain this built-in checked exception, and I'll come back and write the solution to you. Okay, right. So let me finish off. Checked exceptions. The exceptions which are identified and raised by the compiler at compilation stage are known as checked exceptions. These checked exceptions are categorized into two types: built-in checked exceptions and user-defined checked exceptions. The checked exceptions which are available from Java library are known as built-in checked exceptions, or user-defined built-in checked exceptions are predefined checked exceptions. Example for this built-in checked exceptions, many will be there. I took interrupted exception, IO exception, SQL exception, and so on. Yesterday, I took one method known as sleep. Sleep method is used to stop the program execution temporarily on some timer. The sleep method is a built-in method from java.lang.thread class. This is the information, and it is available in this format. This is the format available. So public static native void sleep and so on. So what is this throw keyword? Throws means, I drawn one diagram there. This one. So throws means ignore the exception in current method and raise it to method call. Here I stopped and so throws keyword, ignore the exception in current method and raise it to method call. So the meaning of that is nothing but, first let me make that. Now here start today's date. The same statement I am writing here. Throws keyword specify to ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. Throws keyword specify to ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. When the exception raised at method call, when the exception raised at method call, then it is identified by the compiler at compilation stage. When the exception raised at method call, then it is identified by the compiler at compilation stage. Compilation stage. Compilation stage. Because of this reason, it is known as checked exception. When the compiler identifies, it becomes a checked exception. When the compiler not identified, it becomes a unchecked exception. Whenever we use throws keyword, the exception is raised at method call. When the exception raised at method call, compiler will identify. That's the meaning actually. If that throws keyword not there, this throws keyword not there means the exception will not come to the method call. If throws keyword is there, the exception will come to method call. See, I will show it. Exception application 2 I am taking. Exception application 2. Demo exception 2. So I will write one loop here, one for loop. I less than or equal to 10 and I plus plus. Now system dot out dot println some value plus r. This is one loop printing 1 to 10. No issue. The answer is coming, right? Now our intention is, after every output, we have to stop the execution temporarily on some time. That method I want to use it. For that, thread dot sleep for 5000 milliseconds means stop the execution for 5000 milliseconds. I want to stop the execution 5000 milliseconds. I want to stop it. Print 1, stop it. Print 2, stop it. Print 3, stop it. The output will come very slowly. Now, whenever I call this method, at method call, the exception is raised. Can you see the exception? Unhandled exception type. Interrupted exception. Unhandled exception type. Interrupted exception. The meaning, exception is shown at method call. Who is showing at method call now? Compiler is showing at method call. If the compiler is showing at method call, compiler is understanding that exception. When the compiler understanding the exception, it comes under checked exception. That's the concept. Why the exception raised at method call now? The reason the exception reached to method call. Why the exception reached to method call? Because of throws keyword. Where is the throws keyword now? Throws keyword in the method signature. Whenever we have a throws keyword here, the exception will be raised at method call. That is the meaning. From today, whenever you find one throws keyword added with the method signature, indicates you the exception is raised at method call. That's the meaning actually. Then how to handle it? Simply write one try catch. This line, keep in one try catch. So what exception raised here now? Interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. Now simply use IE dot print stack trace. So if it occurs, any details are there, it displays. Now the exception gone. So we handled with try catch. Now run it. The method has effect. It prints very slowly. Value 1, value 2, stopping for 5000 milliseconds and continuing. So sleep method will stop the execution temporarily on some timer. Why specially I brought a sleep method for your this chapter? The reason, sleep method added with one throws keyword. My intention to explain throws keyword, I brought this method. So what you observed here now, if any method signature added with throws keyword indicates ignore the exception in current method and raise it method call. When the exception raised at method call, it comes under compile time exception or checked exception. If the exception is built in, we call it as built-in checked exception. That's the concept. So here you run that program and check it. Example program, demo exception 2.java output. Now look here. Sir, let us add this throws keyword to our user defined class. So that only you are calling it as user defined checked exception. This is important. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as user defined checked exceptions. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as checked exceptions. Now, we use the following two steps. So this Sunday class will be there for you. No problem. No problem. I mean. Class will be by 8 o'clock. The class will be there. Morning 8 o'clock. Right? 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 hours. Okay, right. This Sunday. Okay, right. Or 3.5 hours. I'll give a break in the middle. No problem. This Sunday. The concept is IO streams and files. Now exception handling is going now. Right. Sunday separate slot is IO streams and files. Third topic is there, no? That one. This one. Now here exception handling is going now here. Exception handling is going now. Right. This topic on Sunday. It takes 3 hours time. We are closing that 3 hours time. Understood? Right. This topic on Sunday we are closing. Now we are under exception handling. We are closing anyway. Now we will close the concept and tomorrow conclusion. This one. And in between only 2 topics will be there. Anyway, Monday we are starting this one. Collection framework. Remaining 2 things are small things only. Don't worry. So let us finish off this on Sunday. It's a plan. 8 to 11. I am planning from 8 to 11. So morning. If you want to come by 7, you can come. No problem. Can you come by 7 o'clock? How many of you want 7 o'clock? No, sir. 8 o'clock. How many of you? Right. Okay. Sunday, no. I moved to 8 o'clock. If not, they'll scold me. Sir, 7 o'clock Sunday. But my intention is, I missed a few classes somewhere. No, let me compensate that. If I do on Sunday this one, Monday I can start collection. So that week totally will be collection by 30. So after that 3-4 days we can close multi-thread and networking and we can close the course. The plan. Okay, right. The plan. Just pre-intimating you 2 days before. Okay, right. So that have a plan. Right. Now, we use the following 2 steps to define and raise. To define and raise user defined checked exceptions. We use the following 2 steps to define and raise user defined checked exceptions. We use the following 2 steps to define and raise user defined checked exceptions. See there, same process will be there. Yesterday I done some steps, no? Same user defined exception is there, no? User defined unchecked exception. Same process, but 2 extra steps. Right. See there. My program is exception application 3 I am taking 2 packages again, 1 package test and 1 package Amaxus. So now I am taking subclass. I am taking now. First time I am taking subclass. Employee designation validation. Employee designation is there or not, we are going to check it. Employee designation available or not, we are going to check it. If it is available, read the employee ID and display. Only 2 points. Reading designation, reading ID. Designation available means read ID. Designation not available means don't read ID, like this. Now, I am taking one subclass. Designation, one class name I am taking. Designation. So in this designation, I am taking one method. Public void verify string some designation. Verify the designation. For verification, we use switch always. Switch. Now, designation case SC software engineer some break. Case test engineer some break. Now case maintenance engineer some break. Now the designation available among these three or not. If designation available among these three, no exception. If designation not available among these three, then exception. Means what? Sir, when the control comes to default, this is exception, no? Yes or no, na? This is exception. When the control comes to your default, that is exception. Got it now? Right. Now, convert this program into exception handle. The first step is, sir, it is extends from exception. Extends from exception. Step 1, yesterday, according to your user defined unchecked exception, step 1, extends from exception. Step 2, declare one parameterized constructor. Message is string message. Pass the message to the parent. Super of message. Now this is step 2. Of course, try catch blocks must be there anyway. Try catch. So try catch blocks. So try catch blocks. Try catch. Step 1 extends from exception. Step 2 declaring one constructor. Now, if the designation not available, control will come to default. Default means the exception. Exception means what is the rule now? We have to create object for the class from where the exception is raised. Yes or no now? So, we have to create object for the class. So, designation sum OB is equal to new designation. While object creation, pass the message, exception message. Invalid designation. Whenever you create object here, yesterday I asked you to use one throw keyword to throw this designation. Whenever we throw the designation, the throw keyword will throw onto designation OB. The control will come here. Yes or no now? This is yesterday's practice now, right? We converted this class into exception handle. For this, 2 extra steps. For this, 2 extra steps we have to add it. So step 1 here. Step 1, add, make a statement. Add throws keyword to the method signature. Add throws keyword to the method signature to ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. Add throws keyword to the method signature to ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. And raise at method call. Right. Now I am doing this step 2 now. See there? Step 1. Here add your throws followed by exception name. Here exception name is the class name only. Class name is what now? Designation. Like this. Throws designation. Now the exception is coming from this class. We are creating object for this class. Throws designation. So class name it is the exception name. After that, second step. Add throw keyword to the catch block and perform rethrowing process. Add throw keyword to the catch block and perform rethrowing process. Add throw keyword to the catch block and perform rethrowing process. So rethrowing means throwing again. Already you thrown from try to catch. Again you are throwing. That's called rethrowing. See there? Already the exception thrown from here to here. But you are using throw keyword here. Throw OB. That's called rethrowing. That's called rethrowing. There are the two steps to be added now. One step is throws exception name. Second one is throw object name. So rethrowing. Now this converted into checked exception. Sir, how can we know it is converted into checked exception? Now the exception must be raised at a method call. Now let us see. Exception is raised at method call or not. Let me cross check. Now go for main class. I am coming for main class. Demo exception 3. Right. First I'll use normally. See there? Scanner S is equal to new scanner of system dot in s dot close. Here system dot out dot print ln. Enter the designation. Now string designation is equal to s dot next line dot to uppercase. Reading and converting into uppercase. Because in our switch case uppercase is there, no? I am converting into uppercase. Now I want to check that designation available or not. For that I am creating object for designation. Designation sum ds is equal to new designation. This is one constructor call. Now here one error is coming now. Why error is coming means new designation, one constructor call. This constructor is with parameter or without parameter? Without parameter. So without parameter constructor not available here. In the designation with parameter constructor is available here. So default constructor not added here. Why default constructor not added? Default constructor is added when there are no constructors. But already here parameterized constructor is available. So default constructor not added. So error is coming. Then how sir means? See, here I am calling one constructor. This is one constructor call. I am calling one constructor. So this constructor is this one. Then what about this constructor? This constructor not there. Because of this reason, we have to add it here. Public designation. Add it. So this constructor call is for this. This constructor call is for this. Now, after creating object for designation, call the method now. ds dot verify of designation. Whenever I call the method now, this is method call. Whenever I call the method, exception is raised. Unhandled exception type designation. For your sleep method, one exception came now. Unhandled exception type interrupted exception came for sleep method. Sleep method is a built-in method. Verify method is a user-defined method. Interrupted exception is a built-in exception name. And designation is a user-defined exception name. So it is a user-defined checked exception raised at method call. How the exception raised at method call now? Sir, I used throws keyword to the method signature, the exception raised here. Then how to handle it now? Sir, write try catch, you write it. You write try catch and keep that lines inside the try. I kept the lines inside the try, no? Right. Now here exception is raised. The exception will come here. What is the exception name now? Sir, designation sum, OB. Roughly I am writing that OB. Now the exception will come to OB. You can display the message. System dot out dot print ln OB dot get message. Right, here we use finally. Now here exception not there means then read system dot out dot Print ln, enter the employee ID. String EID is equal to S dot line. Like this. Now, when the exception not there, these all lines will run. If exception is there, control will come to catch block. See there. Enter the designation ME. Enter the employee ID. Answer is coming now. Right. Suppose I entered designation as EE. Invalid designation. So actually verify method you written already with a boolean variable, no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Na? Already you had verify method with you, boolean variable, return boolean type, catching back. That code will be decreased if I use exception handle. Here, the meaning of this program is, I want to convert this program into exception handle process. Extends from exception, declaring one parameterized the constructor. When the exception is raised, creating object, throwing the reference. That's common. But checked exception means add throws keyword to designation and add one throw keyword in the catch block and perform rethrowing. Whenever if you add these two steps now, exception is raised at method call. When the exception raised at method call, compiler will identify and comes under checked exception. That's the meaning. What is the advantage of this concept now? Advantage of this concept is, when you come to MVC architectures, when you come into MVC architectures. MVC means model, view, controller. So this is the output from your advanced Java. Advanced output is MVC. Advanced Java MVC is JSP MVC. We train the student, that only. This is all preparation for that only. So all will come there. Whatever you are practicing in core, that impact will come to advance. Because it's an enhancement course, no? We have to carry them and come. So ultimate output of your course of advance is developing JSP MVC. After JSP MVC, we had Spring MVC is there. The next level of JSP MVC is Spring MVC will be there. In Spring MVC, one concept is there. One concept is controller servlet. One concept is there. Controller servlet. Controller servlet means that is interacting with the user. Right? That is interacting with the user and taking the request and controlling the responses. The concept. This centralized controller or controller servlet, in the background, it is controlling many components in the background. So they are all subclasses and sub-servlets it is controlling. Whatever the disturbances occurred here, they all should be thrown to here. That only rethrowing. That all should come here. That only rethrowing. At last they have to come to the method calls. Then only the centralized controller can understand and give the response to the user. So suddenly we cannot train this. No? Suddenly calling one student and writing this program student cannot understand. No, we have to come with the slowly. Right? So we are in the level today. The disturbance occurred in the subclass and we are moving the disturbance to the main class. That only concept. There the concept is the disturbance actually occurred in the subclass. Means what? Designation not available is the disturbance occurred in the subclass. But we are moving the disturbance to the main class. How we are moving the disturbance to the main class now? Means I am using one rethrowing concept I am using. Rethrowing. Rethrowing means what now? From catch block already I thrown the reference to the, from the try block I thrown the reference to the catch block already. From the catch block again I am throwing the reference. The reference is coming to the main class. When the reference is coming to the main class, to handle that reference, there we are writing try catch. Means indirectly we are moving the disturbance to the main class. Here imagine this is main class, this is subclass. We are moving the exception to the main class. How you can apply there now? We move the exception to the controller servlet. It's only concept. From here the response will come. When the response is coming here now, UI technology response will come. JavaScript is there, Angular is there, the pop-up message will come, the disturbance what has been occurred. That only happening in the market. But student cannot understand that in a sudden way. N number of days it takes. Right? But ultimate information is that only. Exception handling. Somebody asking, what is the advantage of exception handling? Exception handling not there means you must write if else conditions. Same program you can write if else you can write. If else program is preferable for structured programming, not preferable always for object oriented programming, because n number of classes are running in the background. If else's are there, the code size increases. You have to take one Boolean variable, you can return back, you have to catch it, you have to analyze it. So code size will be increased much. To overcome that only they came with the exception handle. The disturbances can be moved from your subclass to main class. It's a concept. So for this program, I'll draw the diagram. In this diagram, you have to observe it. Where the exception raised, where the reference has been moved. Because rethrowing, the important questions are define exception, define error. What is the difference between exception and error? How many types of exceptions are there? After that, who is the parent of all these exceptions? And what is the hierarchy of throwable? So the questions. After that, what is the process of handling one user defined checked exception, user defined unchecked exception? What is the difference between throw and throws? What is rethrowing process? These are the questions. If you can prepare all these questions, exception handling, you can answer it. Understood, right? Now we have to understand this rethrowing process. We have to understand. For rethrowing process, I am drawing one small diagram to you. Make it this program. I'll paste there. I took two classes here. One is designation.java. One is demo exception 3.java. This is one main class we had it. Execution flow of above program. Then class files. Designation dot class file. Demo exception 3 dot class file. This is one main class. So anyway, main class will be loaded. The main class now I am not extending from exception. The main class I am not extending from exception. So it is a plain main class. Main method will come. Main method. Execution starts from here. Scanner yes is equal to. Now here one try is there. So reading the designation. So I am reading the designation is equal to. So designation not there, no? Right. So exception must be raised. Now create object. Designation ds is equal to. Some people, whenever I am drawing it, actually through program already concept came. Yes or no? Na? Some people will understand the program. If you are understanding, well and good. Even then we draw the diagram, means imagination. We are not asking you to by heart the diagram. We are asking you to maintain some imagination about rethrowing. Yesterday I asked you to maintain one imagination binding message into one object. How object will get a message means considerers will bind it. If I say orally, the student may understand, may not understand. Yesterday's diagram concept that only. One considerer taking the message and passing to the parent and coming. Why means actually my drawback under that one. Some students will not understand the diagrams. Why means you feel that we have to by heart the diagram. This diagram is not for by hearting. This diagram is for only watching. Live class, watching one diagram, understanding concept and leaving. That's all. No need to practice again. Just to watch it. Line by line, line by line, line by line, what we are drawing and leave it. That's all. After that, don't read it again. If you want to summarize it, you must see that and redraw it if you want to practice it. If you see the diagram, you cannot understand. Yes or no? Cannot. Why means for me, when I trained myself in 2006, I took a certification, NITTR, National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research. I certified I am. So that people said to me, when I am giving a certification, they said, as a trainer, if you want to present it, say theory first. So if you are a programmer, present that theory in one program. Right? And explain that program. Some people may understand, may not understand. About that program, one imagination needed for a student. Draw that imagination, not only diagram. So we are presenting in three forms. One is theoretical, one is programmatical, one is diagrammatical. If you understand theory, well and good. You can speak in the interview. If you understand program, well and good. So that program imagination, how it starts, where it starts, that only diagram. Here also exception raised in subclass, but the exception is moving to main class. First the main class main method came. In that main class main method, one object creation is there. New designation. Sir, this is one constructor call. Now the constructor should come for execution now. New designation. New designation means, sir, the designation class must be loaded. Designation class must be loaded. Now this designation class is having two constructors. One constructor without parameter, one constructor with parameter. Two constructors are there. Designation having two constructors. And one method is there, verify. Void verify of designation. One method. This is the class loaded there. For this class, one object you are creating now. You are creating one object. That object is nothing but a new designation. While this object creation, this constructor will come out. Zero parameter constructor will come out or not? Yes or no to me? Right. That zero parameter constructor not having any code. So impact not there. After this one, this verify method will come. Void verify method will come. After this verify method will come. That constructor do not have any impact. Here one verify method will come. Already your designation linked to exception. I not drawn there. Linked to exception, exception linked to throwable, throwable linked to serializable. Means what? Sir, two string method will come. Dot, 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 two string methods will come. I am not highlighting that. Now, this reference is copied onto DS. Copied onto DS. Now that object created by calling one constructor without parameter. Now verify method is ready. When the verify method is ready, call it ds dot verify of designation. Call the method. Now we are calling this method. Now we are calling this method. Now this method will come for execution here. Void verify method will come for execution. This verify method will come for execution. This verify method came for execution. At last verify method came now, right? This verify method will take this designation as parameter. This designation, we are passing designation, no? This designation as parameter. Now the designation will come there. So double E designation will come. So what is available in the verify method now? So try is there. In that verify method, try. Method try is there. Now, this double E available or not available? Not available. Control will come to default or not now. So imagine it. Control will come to default. When the control comes to default, what is available here now? Sir, create object. Designation OB is equal to new designation of some message. And here we written throw OB. Now this is also one constructor call only, no? Yes or no? Right. Now we are creating second object for same class, no? Yes or no? Na? Creating second object. So what happened now? Sir, create object. Create object. Now the second object is coming for the same class. Now, while object creation, this constructor will come for execution. Now this constructor will come for execution. Yes or no? Second constructor with parameter will come for execution. Yesterday's diagram is there, no? This constructor will call exception constructor. Exception constructor will call throwable constructor. That throwable constructor will take the message and bind here. So invalid designation. Yesterday the same diagram, but I am not drawing. You understood? No? The message is binded. After message binding has been completed, now here verify method will come. Here void verify method. Why verify method is coming? Because this is available in the class, it will come. Whatever the components, it will come now. So verify method is available here also. After that, from the parent class now, throwable, the toString method will come. Dot. Because parents are waiting, no, I not drawn it. So they will come. Once object creation completed now, this reference is copied onto OB. This reference now the reference available on OB. Now here throw OB is there, no? Throw OB. Throw OB. Now whenever it is a throw OB here, see there. Throw OB here. It has to come to the catch block, no? Right. To the catch block. Catch designation OB. Here again, throw OB is there. Now, this is thrown here. Now, this reference is thrown to catch. From catch you are rethrowing again. You are rethrowing. Whenever you rethrow now, the exception will come to method call. It will come here. That only concept. Now the exception is raised at method call. When it comes to the method call now, here some lines are there. Dot, dot. Here, close off try. Here some catch is there. Catch, designation, OB. Now, this reference is moved to OB. See there, from where it is moving and coming. That only, rethrowing, exception moved to the main class. It's coming now, it is moving and coming and falling here. Finally, the address is available on OB. This address 0x333 will come and available on OB. So whenever I say OB dot get message, then the message will come out. All of you understood this now? That's the point. That's called rethrowing. Now in that process, once it is rethrown now, this will be destroyed anyway. This is called rethrowing. Now two objects created for the same class designation. One with constructor with 0 parameter, constructor with parameter. All of you understood this now? See that. The exception is moving from. This reference is traveling and coming and falling. This is called movement. Right. Okay. Now, when the reference is available here, it came to here. So it came to the method call. From method call, it came here. Suppose exception not there. This exception not there. When the exception not there, this object not there. When exception not there, the object not created. Now, normally, exception not there means disturbance not there. It runs normally. If exception is there only, the object will come and the reference is thrown. The concept. Now, this is the diagram to show rethrowing. Finally, what is rethrowing? Make it. Define exception rethrowing. Question. Exception rethrowing process. Exception rethrowing process. The process of declaring throw keyword in catch block. The process of declaring throw keyword in catch block and throwing the object reference. Throwing the object reference. The process of declaring throw keyword in catch block and throwing the object reference is known as exception rethrowing process. The process of declaring throw keyword in catch block and throwing the object reference is known as exception rethrowing process. In exception rethrowing process, the exception rethrowing process, the exception is handled by the catch block, of try block, where method call is available. In exception rethrowing process, the exception is handled by the catch block of try block where method call is available. The meaning is like this. Handled by the catch block of try block where method call is available. That's the concept. Handled by the catch block of try block where method call available. Because the exception will come to that only. There it is handled. That's the meaning actually. Right. Here they'll ask one more question. Exception propagation. Make it FAQ. Define exception propagation. Propagation means one meaning is movement or moving. Exception propagation. In exception rethrowing process, the exception is moved from one method to another method. In exception rethrowing process, the exception is moved from one method to another method is known as exception propagation. In exception rethrowing process, the exception is moved from one method to another method is known as exception propagation. So in this diagram now here, the exception raised in verify method, but the exception moved to main method. In rethrowing, the exception is moving from one method to another method. This movement we call it as exception propagation, we say. That's the point. So what is the advantage of exception rethrowing? What is the advantage of exception rethrowing process? Through exception rethrowing process, we can move all the exceptions to main class. So that we can centralize all the exceptions there. Suppose your management also will have 3-4 buildings like us. Whatever the disturbance occurred here, they should move to the main office. Their one main office is done above Midland Bakers. That is, their classroom will not be there. Only inquiry and management persons will be there. Their classroom, but all will be reporting there only. Suppose I said no class is available on Sunday, right? It is the biggest process for them. For us, easy only. Sir, class is there, finished. I'll say to you, now I'll say to them. For them, somebody has to put their duty on Sunday. One boy should come, one management person should come, and they have to open that main office. They have to open all these cameras because students are walking now. For you, security must be there now. That cameras will be there. You know, I don't know now. In corridor security, all cameras should be on. One managed person will be watching you. Because student area, no, protection also important for them. So management person will come, concerned supervisor will come, one boy will come. Until you go out of this block, they will take care on Sunday. Once you move out of this block, then they'll shut down. Means these many persons, they have to walk it. Means what? All these are integrated to one area. Centralized control. Here also same. In biggest project, many disturbances may occur in many locations. Database location is there. Beans location is there. XML location is there. Parsing location is there. Many things will be there in the projects. We don't know where the disturbance is coming. So bring all the disturbances to one area. That only controllers are let. Bring all back to me so that I can watch it. That whenever we want to throw that exception back, all the exceptions will come back to one location. Here we call it as main class. All the subclass exceptions should come to main class. You know, no? The execution starts with main only. Main is available in the main class. Now, who is the controller program here? Main class is the controller program. So, all should come to the main class again. That concept only, rethrowing. What is the advantage of exception rethrowing process? Through exception rethrowing process, we can bring all the exceptions to main class so that you can order them and handle it. Which exception came first? How can we know? Means method calls are there now. I called one method from designation. I called one method from salary. Which method came first now? Designation. So that exception came first. We can order them. We can handle them. Make a statement. What is the advantage of exception rethrowing process? What is the advantage of exception rethrowing process? Exception rethrowing process. What is the advantage of exception rethrowing process? Through exception rethrowing process, we can move all the exceptions. We can move all the exceptions to main class. All the exceptions to main class. Through exception rethrowing process, we can move all the exceptions to main class. And in this process, we can order the exception. We can order the exceptions for handling. Whenever you want to handle them, you must know which exception came first so that you can order them. It's a concept. This one. Okay, right. Now, yesterday's assignment is there. I must type it actually. But in the yesterday's assignment now, for you, here branch check is there now. You convert this branch check into like designation, into checked exception and come, right? If anybody tried this already, modify that program into checked exception for this branch and try and come. Tomorrow I'll give the solution, complete solution I'll give it. Tomorrow's class is I'll give the solution with checked and unchecked with this program. This program already available now? Yes or no? That program, I'll convert the total program into exception handling. Total program. Total program means marks are there, right? What is that? Branch validation is there. Roll number validation is there. The total program I will convert into exception handle by tomorrow, right? It takes 40 minutes time to convert that to program. All I include that program and I'll give to you. After that, I'll make a revision. I'll conclude the chapter and you have to convert that bank transaction model into exception handle. That is the assignment. That applied. That's the plan. Okay, right. Take a break. So modify this, try this and come once again. So thank you very much for today.